right, guys, so for our reading skill today, we're going to discuss character traits. Look at the person across from you, and I want you to say, what are character traits?
What are character traits?
A character trait is when you describe how a character is on the inside. This describes the character's personality. So we're not just going to think about what the character looks like. We're going to look at what they say and the actions that they do to try to determine how they are on the inside. Mirrors and words.
Mirrors and words.
Character traits.
Character traits.
Describe the character's personality.
Describe the character's personality.
Who they are on the inside.
Who they are on the inside.
Okay. Let's look at an example, okay? For example, someone who offers to clean the classroom library has the character trait of being helpful. We see them helping, so we know they are helpful on the inside. Let's look at some other examples of character traits. We might describe a character as athletic, which would mean that they are strong or that they are very good at sports. They can run fast, they can catch things easily. We might describe someone as polite if they use their manners. They say please and thank you. We can describe people as humorous, which would be funny. If they're asking a lot of questions and exploring, they might be curious. Talented would be if they're very good at something. A character that's outgoing might make friends easily or go and talk to new people, try new things. An indecisive character would be one that we see who just can't make up their mind. Sometimes characters can be described as selfish. If they don't ever help other people, they're only thinking about themselves. Now, there are tons of character traits. This is just a couple of examples. So let's try out a couple of things. What character trait would you describe someone who never uses his manners? Raise your hand if you have an idea about that. If we see a character that never uses their manners, how would we describe them on the inside? Abby? They might be selfish. Seneca? Rude, because they're not being polite. So we would look at their actions and what they say to determine that. Let's try another one. What character trait would describe someone who isn't scared to try new things? Anna Claire?
Outgoing.
Outgoing. Ava? Brave. Yes, Casey?
Athletic.
Maybe they're athletic, so they're not as afraid to try something else because they're good at several things. Okay, so we look at what they're doing. They're not scared to try new things, and that helps us to understand who they are on the inside. What character trait would describe someone who spends a lot of time doing arts and crafts? How would we describe that person? Kingsley?
Artistic.
Artistic. Jordan? So artistic. Creative. Very good. Mackenzie?
Hard worker.
They would be a hard worker because they're doing different things all the time. Very good. All right, so now let's talk about the characters from our read aloud, the story Julian tells. Hands and eyes. Okay, let's be sure we're sitting up like a good listener. So we have three characters that we've heard about so far. We've heard about Dad, Julian, and his little brother Huey. Okay? Over here is just a list of some different character traits. Gullible, that means they believe things all the time, even if they're not true. Maybe they're shy, so they don't like to talk very much. Gloomy and sad. Stern, serious, sneaky, untrustworthy, trustworthy, silly, creative. All of these words would describe a character's personality on the inside. So I want you to think about these characters. We are going to pick one character trait to describe them. Then we're going to tell how we know they're like that. What did they do in the text that let us know that that's how they are on the inside? So I'm going to do Dad. Dad is very serious. That's his character trait. Now, how do I know that Dad is serious? I've got to think about what he does and says in the book. Well, in the book, he makes the boys fix their mistakes. When they eat all the pudding, he makes them go in there and make another batch of pudding for Mom. That lets me know that he is very serious about them doing what they're supposed to be doing. We are going to decide on a character. You you can pick Julian or Huey, and you guys are going to think about how they act in the book. What do they do? What do they say? And see if you can use those as clues to describe them with a character trait. Okay? So we're going to do that now, and then we'll share our answers in just a second.